They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jet.
What up, Laker family? It is your boy DTLF here working extra overtime today, man, with my fourth video of the day. So if you're just coming in, make sure you hit that like button. But yes, we got the news we've been waiting for today, y'all. We got the news we have been waiting for all day. Shout out to my boy KJ. Shout out to everybody that always texts me the news that I hear from Shams every time. It's hilarious. My phone always blows up. D'Angelo Russell has opted into his contract with the Lakers, meaning he opted into his final year of his deal, which means we have him on that still bargain contract, which is $18.7 million, right? Now, according to my guy Shams Charania, Russell immediately becomes a potential trade candidate for our Los Angeles Lakers. Let's freaking go, Laker family. Listen, this is what we've been waiting for, man. Now, we don't care about D'Angelo. This is not about D'Angelo. This is about the flexibility that D'Angelo's contract, he's an asset at this point. I don't expect him to start training camp with the Lakers. I'll tell you that. So now it means there's a couple of pieces that are available to our Lakers via trade, right? Now, of course, your boy took a little longer to come on this live stream for a reason, right? That's because your boy was cooking up trades in the trade machine, and I got 3 special ones for you guys in this video. So drop the like button if you guys are interested in those trades. But this really is interesting because, again, now the Lakers can perform trades. Now the Lakers can actually get out there and throw their name, you know what I'm saying, and see what happens. See what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Now, if it does end up being Trey Young, I'm going to be one happy camper today. If it doesn't end up being Trey Young, I got a couple of other suggestions. Let's start with suggestion number 1, huh? How about that? Again, your boy working diligently. Smash that like button, chat. Trade machine time. And we got our first trade of the evening, as you guys see here. Now, in the trade machine, I cannot include the first picks. But this is my proposal if I'm Rob Pelinka. I'm going to start with the safe trade. And we're going to leave the best trade for last. I think you guys know what the trade is. We're going to leave the best trade for last, okay? Trade number 1. The Lakers offer D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and Jalen Hood-Schifino. Plus, we lift our protection off of that pick they already have of ours. We lift our protection, and we throw in an extra first-round pick just to sweeten the pot. Now, let me tell you why the Jazz would actually do this. For one, the Jazz are not a competing team. They're going to want to hit rock bottom if they want to compete for Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is the target white boy killer, man, who's about to take the league by storm, according to multiple sources, multiple scouts. Obviously, they offloading a multi-year deal from Jordan Clarkson here. They're giving us Colin Sexton. I think he's on a 1-year deal. And Walker Kessler, who apparently they don't want to pay. And they just drafted another big man in the name of Cal Filipowski. Not only that, they get D'Angelo Russell's expiring contract so they can be free agent. So they can be free agent players next season. They get a very affordable contract in Rui Hachimura. And they get a young prospect in Jalen Hood-Schifino. They took our last young prospect, and that was Taylor Horton-Tucker. So that's my first trade. Let me know what you guys think. Some people like it, some people don't. But whatever you do, hit that like button, man, because your boy is active in the trade market right now. I think, that is definitely something the Lakers should offer. This is probably my lowest trade. I'm going to start from worst to best. But let's see what you guys think. Solid trade with the Jazz, but I personally wouldn't want this. Well, this is a safe trade, meaning you address what you need on the roster. You need a starting caliber point guard. You get that with Colin Sexton. You want a 6-man who's a little overpaid, but still, he was 6-man of the year at one point. You bring on your boy Jordan Clarkson. Then you get Walker Kessler, a real rim protector who the Lakers would go over the cap to pay once his contract is up. If he earns and he helps us to a title, we need big bodies like him, man. Rebounding block shots, that would be great. That would be awesome. Ren says, yes, Dan. All right, some people like it, some people don't. Let's see who doesn't like it. Hell no, nobody want to keep him, only if you want to be a regular season team. Oh, you're talking about D'Lo. Not worried about him, man. Why does D'Lo keep coming back then? Oh, man, I want him to leave us alone. Well, he had no other option but to opt in, fam. He had no other option but to opt in to his contract because I don't think he would have got the same deal anywhere else. He said, we keep Rui, trade TP, and the rest is good. Okay. So far so good, right? Not bad. All right. So that was the first trade proposal. Now let's go to the second trade proposal. Let's see how I do this here. But yeah, for those of you just tuning in, D'Angelo Russell is officially a Laker again. He's opted in for now, right? He's opted into his contract. Now, I don't think he's going to stay here, Laker. Let's bring up our second trade, though. Second trade of the evening. And, oh, no, that is the exact same trade. Let me remove it from the screen. Matter of fact, that way I don't get it confused. All right, let's bring on our next trade here. I got 3 trades for you guys that I just put together real quick before I jumped on the live stream. I think the Lakers can get really creative here, and they can come up with something really good. All right, second trade coming up. Here it is. Here's the second trade. Now, this trade is a little more tricky, okay, because you're going to have to give up a little bit more. So hear me out. Again, I could not put the draft picks on the screen, but every trade that I propose starts with D-Lo. That's how low we think of him in the playoffs, okay? So D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and a first-round pick, plus, again, we lift protection. We get Colin Sexton, and we get Lauri Markkanen. Now, Colin Sexton actually has 3 years left on his deal. So, again, they might want to trade out of that, personally. They get a starting caliber point guard who's an expiring contract and a nice young piece, plus, essentially, 2 first-round picks. We lift the protection of the 2029 one we traded to them last year. And also, we give them a new first-round pick. That way, we get to keep this year's first-round pick, plus we get to keep a future first-round pick for either a future trade or via draft. What do you guys think? I see some positive vibes up in here. I like that. I like it. There you go. There you go. Okay. See, your boy, he's got the GM juices flowing right now. I got everything. Smack the like button if y'all like it, man. I'm telling you, if Rob Pelinka gets really creative, I think, and by the way, this is a trade partner we've traded with before, right? This is definitely a trade partner that we have dealt with before. Therefore, it is a real possibility that they could pick up the phones, you know? My guy said, I like it, but I think the Jazz say no. There is a possibility, but it doesn't hurt to try. Look, you're giving them an expiring contract, what seems to be an asset. Just ask the Atlanta Hawks, who basically just traded DeJounte Murray for 2 first-round picks and an expiring contract, right? We're giving them an expiring contract. We're giving them a young, talented piece, which I think is fair, and Rui, who's on a very affordable contract. And we're giving them essentially 2 first-round picks. The one we already gave them, we lift protection, plus another one, right? With no protection, just unprotected first-round pick. Just again, I think it's fair both ways. I don't think the Jazz really want to hold on to all these big men. They just drafted Cal Filipowski. Why not cash in on him right now? The other guy's just a throwaway, right? And a really good one, too, by the way, because Colin Sexton is pretty damn decent. Jazz ain't doing it for Lowry. It'd be good if they did it, though. We can try, man. We can try. The best piece they're giving up is obviously Lauri Markkanen. So it is definitely questionable that they would do it. But I'm gonna save the last trade for last. I think you guys already know what it is. But I got the ultimate final trade at the end of the video that I will show you guys. But for now, yeah, those are my first 2 potential trades, and both of them involve the Jazz. Let's just say the third one does not involve the Jazz, okay? Cam Johnson would also be another good one. If you guys have any, fire up your trade machines. If you have any, I will be reading off your guys' trades. This is a fun time because now we can really have the flexibility to actually pull off trades. And I think Rob is more active than ever. I think the reason they probably convinced D'Angelo Russell to opt in is because they probably already have something in mind. But super happy he did this. I think it was in the best interest of both parties, the Lakers and D'Angelo Russell, for him to opt in. Now, he did mention how he wants to compete for a title, and that's his goal. Bro, I think we all feel the same way, except you're not going to be on the Lakers next year. I will be shocked and appalled at the same time if this man D'Angelo Russell is the starting point guard for the Lakers next year. I'll be shocked and appalled. I'm telling you right now, there's no way he should be a Laker. All right, let's see what else we got here. Dan, will you trade for Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith and maybe D'Lo, Rui, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and 2 first-rounders? I'll be honest with you. I don't think either Cam Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith should be able to pull 2 first-rounders. I feel like 2 first-rounders are for special type of players. And matter of fact, if you noticed, I was hesitant to add 2 first-rounders to the trades I just showed you, right? So one of those things, man, one of those things. And so at the same time, I will say this. I like both of those players, but the maximum I'm willing to give up for both of them combined is 1 first-round pick, along with the trade pieces you mentioned. Because let's not forget, Rui Hachimura is 25 and under. All right, he put up 13 points very efficiently last year in limited minutes. I think under 30 minutes per game, like 29 or something like that. D'Angelo Russell is an 18-point per game scorer. He'll hold his own wherever he goes, right? He won't do so good in the playoffs, but these teams we're talking about, they're not necessarily playoff contenders anyway. So you just want to sell tickets, ship D'Lo off to the Nets. Now, I like your package. Subtract 1 first-round pick. Throw in 2 second-round picks. Let's do it. DeMar becomes a possibility as well, but we'd have to trade D'Angelo, Russell, and I think LeBron has to take a pay cut. I think that's what we heard earlier. Again, it's very complicated. Portland needs a point guard, so why not trade for Jeremy Grant? I like Jeremy Grant. Contract is bloated. He's injury prone. That's the only problem I have with Jeremy Grant. Again, hit that like button if you guys want to see the final trade, guys. I concocted, and I did. Again, I put these together in probably about 3 minutes. So if I could put something together in about 3 minutes, what do you think Rob Pelinka can do over the course of hours and days? But now, again, the best news, guys, the Lakers have got D'Lo to opt in, which, again, gives us flexibility. We don't have to sign and trade him. We won't hard cap ourselves if we trade him away unless you bring in something excessive, right? But, again, it's a fun time, man. And this happened right before free agency, so I believe the Lakers might try to strike a deal with somebody by tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked if tonight or tomorrow we hit some breaking news, Lakers trade for this player or that player. At least that's what I'm hoping for. If we get to free agency, right, and we haven't made a trade, this will be a little bit harder. We might need, but I don't think. Again, my gut tells me I'm like 95% sure D'Lo's going to get flipped somewhere, right? At 95% sure. Trade for a center. I would love to trade for a center. We need a center for sure. D'Lo for Kuzma. I'm not mad at that trade at all. I would actually like it. I wouldn't love it because there's another player, and we're going to need a point guard as well. So D'Lo for Kuzma just leaves a gaping hole at the point guard position. Now, Gabe could man the point guard position, but he's not ideally to start. I prefer him off the bench. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think should start at the point guard? And please don't say Bronny James. Please don't say Bronny James. Do you worry about the backcourt defense if Trey comes to the Lakers? I will answer that question in a short minute. Again, you're spoiling my final trade package. But, of course, I worry about defense. I always worry about defense. But I think there's ways to mask and to cover up for those liabilities. And, of course, you're gonna need a starting 2 guard that can defend, which means then Austin Reeves will be promoted to the bench. I'm not even going to say demoted because he could get the same minutes. But, promoted to the bench as a super 6-man, similar to Manu Ginobili. And I'll tell you one thing about Austin. He's a team player. I'm sure he's not going to have a problem with it. He's under contract already. He's not looking for another contract. He's not looking to get paid. It's not payday year for him. So all he needs to do is contribute to the Lakers, winning ways, and eventually when his contract runs up, especially if we win a championship, he will be coveted just like Caruso, right? The one thing about the league, they love role players who play their role, okay? That's one thing you got to learn about the NBA. P.J. Washington, his value spiked up crazy from going from Charlotte Hornets to the Mavs because he showed he could actually contribute, and nobody was looking at his stats. It didn't matter if he was averaging over or under 10 points. Is the fact that he was efficient, he was playing good defense, and he helped the Mavericks get to the NBA Finals. He was a huge part of those role player core. So, again, guys like Austin Reeves don't worry about the stats. That'll come naturally. Matter of fact, his highest scoring month in his career was when he was coming off the bench for the Lakers last season, averaging over 21 points per game, shooting 50% from the field. So I don't think D'Lo has a problem going to the bench, especially if we have a starting 2 guard who can really defend. Unless D'Lo has really upgraded his, unless Austin Reeves has upgraded his defense, then But again, so many different scenarios. If you guys have fired up your trade machines, then I'm all ears right now, man. I don't believe it because Sham said otherwise. Sham said we're looking to include him in packages. There's going to be mixed reports. That's okay. We don't know the truth, but it doesn't feel like D'Lo's coming back after the past 2 seasons. It doesn't. Matter of fact, the Lakers tried trading him, which is why it took D'Lo so long to opt back in because I think he even figures he might get traded, right? So it just doesn't make sense. If he knew he was going to stay, then he would have opted in a lot sooner. He waited till the final day almost, right? Like a couple hours before the final day. Besides DeJounte, who else? Defensive point guard available for a trade. Again, I showed Colin Sexton a little earlier. I showed a trade package that had Colin Sexton. I would like a guard like him. A guard like him would be real nice, assuming we can get the other guy. The other guy we've been talking about all day. Colin Sexton would be a nice second place reward. They call him Young Bull. He gets after it. He's a very solid defender. He's okay offensively, too. He averaged similar numbers offensively than D'Angelo Russell. Of course, he played on a lesser team, a team that wasn't even close to sniffing the playoffs. At least they started off good during the season, and then eventually they fell back in the place they belonged, right, which is in the back of the West. But Colin Sexton's very decent, very, very decent. I wouldn't mind him at all. Even, I'll be honest, if they wanted D'Lo for Colin Sexton, straight up, I'd do it. Who here is not pulling the trigger on that? Now, of course, I would like other pieces that the Jazz have as well. But if they just wanted to do a 1-for-1 and we couldn't get nothing else for D'Lo, I'm doing the Colin Sexton for D'Angelo Russell. Similar contracts, I think, is possible. My guy said, Dan, I told you Bev leaked it. I expect Wiggins in LA. He said words. Hopefully Moses Moody is added since we have to take hit on his contract. Well, you know what? I wouldn't be mad at that trade either. I like a 3-and-D wing like Wiggins. He's not the most efficient offensive player at all, but, I think J.J. Redick's going to do a great job of drawing up plays for the role players, backdoor screen cuts, all kinds of down screens, everything to get these guys some wide open shots, right? And so I'm interested to see how he incorporates role players, and maybe Wiggins would fit in better offensively with the Lakers. Although I doubt it because Golden State, they have the ultimate green light. But who knows? Again, we'll see. But I do like his defensive prowess. I like his athleticism. He's a champion. He's got experience. There's good things going for Wiggins. I'm not mad at it. Hey, I'm cool with that. I will take a guy who plays hard better than a flat-footed point guard like D'Angelo Russell who only worries about scoring. I will take a guy who plays extremely hard. We have plenty of IQ guys on the team anyway, so I'm good with it. Right? My guy said Sexton could be the most realistic at this point. Not so fast. I got the ultimate trade for you guys here before I end this video. Again, hit that like button, man. Your boy, this is the 4th video I put out today, and I'm expecting a lot more videos coming in the future with free agency and all this stuff. So your boy's just getting started, man. Fire up the trade machines, though. It's that time to have fun. That's another intriguing piece, Benaya. Now, I didn't include him in the trade machine, but that's another piece I would not mind right there. Right there. Bruce Brown, right? Defensive guy who can knock down the three, but mostly a defensive guy with some solid size. And, the more perimeter guys you can have like that. Now, another intriguing name is interesting to me, and that is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He just opted out with the Denver Nuggets. Now, obviously, he's looking for a big contract somewhere. However, if we can find a way to, clear up that cap space that they were talking about earlier on ESPN and bring him in for like $12 million on a 1-year deal, $12 million, and then pay him afterwards when we get more cap space, I'd be with it, man. I would be with it. Mooley, I have no clue. I doubt it, bro. Again, been working overtime, man. I'm going to lose my voice if I do a gaming stream. But, basketball is the priority here, so we're probably not a gaming stream tonight. But appreciate you for checking in. You never know. Oh, yeah, I got you guys, man. You guys know this is my bread and butter, man. This is what I do for a living. So breaking down trades, breaking news, and just Laker basketball in general, just NBA basketball is my specialty. So, bread and butter for me, man. I'm geeking out over this stuff right now. And also, I will tell you guys this, man. The fact that D'Lo didn't have to opt in, but he had to opt in, if that makes sense. Like, he didn't have to, but he didn't have a gun to his head, but it was in his best interest because he must have seen that, it's a lot harder for free agents to get big deals with these new salary cap rules, right? This new CBA. So it's a lot harder. It's going to be easier to make trades than it is to sign free agents because, there's so many cap restrictions. The first apron, the second apron, all these damn aprons they're throwing at, at these super teams. So it really discourages teams from going all out and doing what they got to do. My guy Robert says, I would love to keep D'Lo. I have always been a D'Lo fan. I'm a D'Lo fan too, but I'm a bigger fan of his when he gets the hell out of Dodge because this is not the place for him. He doesn't have the heart in the right place. He was more worried about the stats. As a matter of fact, he's going into another contract year. He's going to be worried about the stats again. Talking about he wants to win a championship. He did not show us that in the playoffs whatsoever. All he did was hype himself up, started a podcast, gas himself up, and he kind of went backwards. He had a good January and February month, and then he kind of right when we needed him around March, he kind of tailed off a little bit once that podcast took full steam. And then he's just, I don't think he's starting point guard material. Again, we're looking for a killer at the point guard position. That's what we're looking for. Let's see here. Can't wait to tap in for more news tomorrow. Danny said, I'll make sure to tap in on time. You're good, Tex. You're good, brother. Hey, man, better late than never. Let's see. Dan, how far you see the Lakers going this season? I'll give you an answer after free agency is done. Right now, we don't know what the roster is looking like. For all we know, it's either going to be like a total freaking switch to the roster or maybe just a couple of minor moves here. We just don't know. Now, ask me the same question around July 12th, like when Summer League starts. Usually the first 2 weeks of July are the most action-packed. After that, it goes quiet. Some free agents don't even have a team till training camp. So it'll go quiet for a while, but it's going to be chaos for me June 30th, man. I will be here as soon as free agency tips off with the every year 1 hour special. And then as the news breaks, just like right now, I will be hopping on no matter what time of the day, man. I already told my girl, like, we might miss some gym days. You know what I'm saying? Your boy might miss a couple of meals just to break this news out because the people need to hear it quick, you know, and we need to break it down together here as it happens. Let's see. Which package would you choose, Dan, if both are offered? Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith or Kuz and Brogdon? I'm going to take Kuz and Brogdon. I'll be honest. Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith are not proven players. Kuzma's been a champion. Brogdon's been on winning franchises. So, yeah, man. I will take that package. It's a good question. Good question. Free agency on your birthday? Hey, happy early birthday, bro. Hopefully the Lakers land a big fish or make a big trade right on your birthday. That would be really cool. I don't think Rob makes a trade. There is a chance. There's a chance he doesn't make a trade, but there's no way D'Lo can be your starting point guard. I would really question Rob Pelinka. It's like, are you seeing what the hell happened last year? You can't do it. You just can't. I'm sorry. Love me some D'Lo. We drafted him. Always going to have love for him. I'll love him a lot more when he goes to another team. Trust me. I will root for him from far. I'll be like, D'Lo, go D'Lo. Except when he plays against the Lakers. But yeah, he's just not a fit here, bro. He's too worried about his hairstyle. He's too worried about his podcast. He's too worried about talking in third person. Usually we have bad experiences with Russells. I don't know if you guys mentioned, if you guys have noticed, usually Russells talk in third person, which is weird. We want some humble shit or we want some dog shit. Either way, we want you to either be a dog or be a humble killer. That's about it. Don't be so sure, my man. You say you ain't getting nothing for D'Lo. Don't be so sure. Listen, Larry Nance Jr. was able to fetch DeJounte Murray. D'Lo is actually a bucket, and he's on an expiring contract. This is a win-win for whoever trades for him. You know? He said Max Christie next via reports. Very happy about that. We need to make sure we lock him up, man. He's a true part of this future, man. He's a true part of the Lakers' future. I could see that. I could see him just actually having a breakout season next year. I know a lot of us have said that. So, yeah, it's going to be a blast to watch his growth. And I hope Coach J.J. Redick has some stuff lined up for him. Absolutely, man. We need it all. We need it all, baby. But, you know, I think it's that time. I think it's that time, y'all. And let me go ahead and present this really quick. I think it's that time to present the final trade. You guys ready? Fire emojis in the chat if you guys ready for the final trade piece. I think you guys know what it is already. I've been raving about this dude for a while. Okay. Lakers center Jackson Hayes is exercising his $2.4 million player option to return to the Lakers. So there's another one. Let's go. Okay, Jackson Hayes, very solid piece. For the price, I ain't mad at it. He had a very good season. Hopefully, he continues to grow. He needs to put on some muscle and improve his free throw shooting and little things here and there. But maybe he can finally be our version of JaVale McGee. But there you go. That's two opt-ins. And again, the dominoes are starting to fall in quickly here. I might as well stay on for a little minute because you never know, something might break here. But how you guys feel about Jackson Hayes before I get into the final trade, man? I guess we're going to prolong this video a little bit more. How y'all feeling about Jackson Hayes coming back at $2.4 million? Me personally, I like it. I won't say I love it, but I like it. He's a little clumsy sometimes. He has a high motor. I really like that. But, you know, this is one of those solid, decent moves on the roster. You can never be mad at cheap value. That's what he is, right? Trade bait? Maybe, Mooley. Maybe. You're right about that. Dan catching news in real time. That's what I do, man. They call me Dan Wojnarowski, bro. So make sure you guys turn on them post noti bells and subscribe if you already haven't. This is the #1 place for summer, for around the year Lakers basketball breakdown, NBA basketball breakdown, and more. So make sure you guys keep it locked. But yeah, There's the update right there, right as it happened, man. My source is just going crazy, and my sources are Woj and Shams, just so you guys know. All right, I don't mean personal sources. I'm talking about the ones that bring the news like that in your face. Let's see. Good. We could use the trade. Now we need Cam to opt in. Yeah, everything we have, everything we have right now could become a trade asset, or we could just bring him back at a good price because it's going to be harder to navigate through free agency. So we have to look at everything. But D'Lo, man, there's no way. I don't think there's a single way that D'Angelo Russell is a starting point guard of our Los Angeles Lakers next year. Do you guys believe he is a starting point guard? Let me know. I want to see yes or no. As a matter of fact, I want to see fire emojis or down thumbs if you guys think he's the starting point guard or not. All right. Down thumb means no. Fire emojis means yes, and you still support Mr. Ice in his veins. So do I think Paul George goes to the Warriors? I think there's a chance. He has three options here. Now, one, he could sign a max or not a max because I don't think the Clippers have offered him a max. He can go back to the Clippers on whatever bargain deal they're trying to cook up for him. They don't want to give him the max, which is the worst option for him. He can obviously opt in and then get traded to the Warriors, which I don't like that option for anybody because I hate both teams. And then option number 3 is my favorite. He goes to the, he gets a little bit of his dignity back when he goes to Philly to play alongside Joel Embiid and that zesty kid over there from the 76ers. So yeah, and Tyrese Maxey as well. He's dope. So yeah, definitely. I would prefer him go to Philly. Just a personal preference. We don't need no more star power here in the West, right? If he wants to guarantee himself an all-star spot and maybe a pay raise as a result, because you know how they be adding those stipulations in there, I would say go out east. All right, it's weak over there. It's some weak soft shit. Literally, motherfuckers are cakewalk into the finals. And I'm talking about, when I say motherfuckers, I'm talking about Boston. So we need everybody to go that way. That's my personal preference. But I do believe, you know what I'm saying? I do believe that there's a chance that he ends up right back with the Clippers. I hope he doesn't for his sake. I mean, he's going to be irrelevant as hell. He's going to be irrelevant as hell if that happens, right? Let's be honest. Kawhi Leonard doesn't get talked about anymore. Part of it is due to injuries, but another part is due to the fact that he's a Clipper, right? Same thing with Paul George. All right, he went there. Nobody's talking about him like when he was with OKC, and damn sure not talking about him like when he was with the Indiana Pacers. So there's a lot to that, right? And that playing for the Clippers really does. It puts a dent. It really puts a dent into your career as a basketball player. Hey, looks like we got a super chat.
Thank you, God.
Hey, Daniel, appreciate you, man. He said, appreciate you, Dan, providing us with the best content. You always killing it. I agree totally. He said, Dan D'Lo is getting shipped. Adios, his ass. Bro, I think if you're a real diehard Laker fan, you've been here for a minute, you know that we love this kid, man. It's not even hate. We love him, but we're going to love him from a distance. It's like that toxic relationship. When you're in a toxic relationship, you can love her from a distance, so you got to get that restraining order on that ass and just wave bye-bye to her as she watches you start your new family. That's pretty much the relationship we have with D'Angelo Russell. Like, we'll love you, bro. We had great memories here. We drafted you. You did the ice in your veins celebration, and then that was it. Right? That's about as far as D'Lo goes. He had a couple of good 30-point games, and he was feeling himself, started a podcast. Didn't do shit in the playoffs, okay? Where you're remembered the most as a Laker. I've been a Laker fan 28 plus years in counting. Matter of fact, it's about to be 29 in October. And we never remember players based solely off of what they do in the regular season. We love players for their heroics in the playoffs, all right? That's when we have, like, y'all remember playoff Rondo in the bubble? Yeah, he became a hometown hero here in Los Angeles. Do y'all remember Dwight Howard cooking Jokic? Because I do. You know what I'm saying? He always forgiving all the little zestiness, everything. We embraced him for himself. And, he came out here cooked, and he'll always be beloved. He performed in the playoffs. Now, do y'all remember D'Angelo Russell when he killed in the playoffs? No? Didn't think so. Okay, he's got to go. Sorry, bro. We love you. But like I said, it's that toxic relationship. We got to get that restraining order. Ship his ass out of here, man. Ship his ass out. But I appreciate the super chat, brother. Much love to you, man. Daniel always showing love and support. Dan, we will run out of roster spots if Reddish also opts in. We need trades to free up spots. It's going to happen, man. My gut is telling me it's going to happen. And when it does happen, I'll be here to report it. But for now, we wait and see, man. We're gonna, everybody's stocking the timeline from here till July 12th. We're gonna be scrolling that thing, man. Our phone is gonna be like, chill out, bro. Like literally, the phone is gonna talk. Siri's gonna be like, chill out, bro, because I keep scrolling the timeline trying to get that Woj breaking news so I can report it to you guys right when it happens. But there's gonna be a lot of options out there. The Lakers just gotta be really intelligent. They gotta be smart, and they gotta act swiftly before somebody else pounces on our opportunities, just like the Pelicans did today, right? Dan, is Donovan Mitchell not realistic? I want to say it isn't realistic. It's not likely. I'd say if I had to put percentages on it, I'd say there's a 75 chance that he's not a Laker. He's not even going to be traded, let alone to the Lakers. If he gets dealt, it'll be somewhere else. Dan Gilbert's not the biggest LeBron fan, right? Not the biggest LeBron fan. But did you guys notice something or not? Because I pay attention to detail. So D'Lo didn't opt in, and a lot of Laker fans are going to be pissed about this. I hope I don't start a war here, but D'Lo didn't opt in until the DeJounte Murray trade happened. These guys are better connecting than we are, so I'm sure he was on the phone with his agent. I believe D'Lo probably feels like he's out of the danger zone, like because he knows the Lakers wanted DeJounte Murray. They were rumored to swap him for DeJounte all over the trade deadline. So I believe he opted in right after that trade happened. Probably had a couple conversations with his agent, and he probably feels a little safer. But fear not. I think Rob Pelinka is about to catch his bluff and make something happen. There's definitely something out there to be had. All right, I think it is time. What do you guys think? It's time to bring up the final trade. Everybody knows this. Spoiler alert! I was talking about this man earlier, right? He's very hated. He's beloved by some of us, but he's very hated by everybody else. And I think he'd be the perfect Laker, and there's no better time to strike right now. Let's bring up the trade package right. My third and final piece. Here goes. There it is. There it is, guys. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. D'Angelo Russell, expiring contract. Gabe Vincent, expiring contract. Now, it says 3 years. Well, actually, no. Gabe Vincent's not an expiring contract. He has 1 more year left on his contract after this year. But D'Lo is an expiring contract. Don't look at the 2 years there. It's a little outdated. It hasn't updated into this offseason. Rui's got 3, and he probably has the most value in this trade. Rui for sure. But this is what could happen. So the Hawks get 2 first-round picks, unprotected. D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent for Trey Young. Now, what this leaves the roster with is a couple of holes, right? Now, obviously, we have our starting point guard. We need a backup point guard, right? If we trade Gabe Vincent, we're going to need a backup point guard. This is when the veterans minimum comes into place. There's going to be point guards in the free agency like Shake Milton, right? Not to mention we're grooming Bronny, and we have Jalen Hood-Schifino. You can then turn around and flip him for another veteran to back up Trey Young. But for me, this one right here is the needle mover for me. I would hate to lose Rui, but that's probably who they're going to want, right? That's probably who the Hawks are going to want. Now, let me ask you guys this. If we have to include Vando instead of Rui, you guys doing this package? But I think this is the one. Look, D'Lo, they could flip him at the trade deadline and get even more draft picks, maybe 1 or 2 for him to some contending team. So now the Hawks are going to get 3 first-round picks plus Rui. They might even be able to flip him. That's what people aren't thinking about because he has a very affordable contract and a very lucrative one based on his point per production. And then Gabe Vincent, it doesn't seem like the most ideal contract, but they only basically keeping him an extra year. You can afford to do that when you're a rebuilding team, right? They're going to get 3 first-round picks, essentially. Because, again, remember, trade deadline teams get hungry. They start looking around. They look at a team like the Hawks who has D'Angelo. He can get flipped again at the deadline. So this is my favorite trade for sure right here. This leaves us with Trey Young, Austin Reeves, Vando, Anthony Davis, LeBron James as our core. And then off the bench, off the bench, you'll have Max Christie. Obviously, you're going to have the young rookies. And then who knows what other veterans we go out and we sign. Obviously, Jackson Hayes just re-signed. We're going to have Christian Wood. So this is my potential trade. Now, I see a lot of people hesitant about trading Rui. Problem is, one of the two has to go. I don't think there's enough room in this town for the both of them, Rui and Vando, right? I really don't think there's enough room in this town for both of them, right? So this is just a trade suggestion. I'm not saying it'll happen. The likely scenario that the Hawks will want to cooperate with us is slim to none. But again, if you entice them with first-round picks, it could happen. You've seen what the Hawks did, right? Somebody got to check them. Somebody has to check them because we all seen what the Hawks did for DeJounte Murray. That's technically one of the worst trades I've seen all year. People were getting on the Knicks for giving up 5 first-round picks. Bro, what the Hawks got for DeJounte Murray is criminal. And I love one of those players that was involved in the package, in Larry Nance, but it just wasn't enough, man. Wasn't enough. But what do you guys think of the three trade packages that I presented? Also, do you guys have a better scenario? I'm all ears right now. Let's have this conversation, guys. It's that fun time of the year when we get to speculate, we get to predict, and then we get to get shocked because a lot of the times it's not the stuff we predict that happens, it's the stuff we never saw coming, right? Can the Lakers still get Clay? In order to get Clay, you would have to think that the Lakers will probably have to get involved in a 3-team deal between the Warriors and the Clippers to facilitate. And I believe that the Warriors would have to be interested in D'Angelo Russell, which they might be. They might be if they're losing Clay, especially. They want a three-point shooter. One of them. See, people are definitely undervaluing D'Lo. He is one of the better three-point shooters in the league. 40% field goal career three-point shooter, right? He would fit the Golden State Warriors. There's fits for this man, right? Where he could just jack up threes all day and pat his stats. So that could happen, but I think that's the way to go. Now, supposedly, according to reports, there's mutual interest between Dallas. And yes, thank you, call it right on time. Mutual interest between Dallas and Clay. But again, these are preliminary rumors, which means don't take too much, don't put too much, I guess, attention into them because anything can happen. And again, my phone going off. I always got to check it, man. Okay, so this is what D'Angelo Russell said, and you're not gonna like this, Laker family. D'Angelo Russell to ESPN on his decision to opt in for the final year of his contract with the Lakers for $18.7 million. And I quote, "I love what JJ is about, and I really see myself thriving under his guidance to help win at a high level." So he thinks he's slick, y'all. D'Lo thinks he's slick. He thinks he avoided the trade for DeJounte Murray. That's what he thinks. How y'all feel, man? Y'all really believe this is genuine? He had 2 years to prove himself. And again, I love the kid, but I don't believe in him in the playoffs anymore. And JJ's not going to be out there on the court holding his hand, when it's time for him to get buckets and to try to lock up. And to be honest, I really don't want to see a backcourt again of Austin and D'Lo. If D'Lo, for whatever reason, does come back, God forbid it, and is with the Lakers here early in the season, then we've definitely got to send Austin Reeves to the bench. Right, and start Max Christie, definitely. But it ain't no way. I don't think there's a real way. I think right now he's in denial. Right, he doesn't want to get traded somewhere where he doesn't want to go. But it's a 1-year rental, D'Lo. Just don't even buy a house. Just stay with a friend or rent a hotel or whatever. And Airbnb. I mean, you're on the road half the time, anyways, right? So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we have to strike a trade deal. And again, this is my favorite one. If Rob can pull this out, I'll never question Rob again. If Rob can pull this one out and bring us Trey Young, and then we can solidify the rest of the roster via free agency, never question Rob Pelinka again. I'm telling you right now. How good is Trey Young's defense? Not good at all. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, but neither is D'Angelo Russell's, and we survived the whole season with him. What Trey Young will do, however, is kill for you in the playoffs, something D'Angelo Russell will not. See, it's bearable when D'Angelo was going off, like I said, in January and February. His poor defense wasn't that noticeable. It's as soon as he gets on those little cold spells and he goes from ice in his veins to ice in his balls, and that is really when, this man he disappears magically. He pulled a Harry Houdini at the end of the season, man. Magical act, part 2, as if part 1 wasn't good enough, right? So I don't believe in this kid no more, man. I'm sorry. Not for the Lakers. Now, for a team like the Clippers or a team that's not serious and they don't really want to win, perfect. Atlanta Hawks, perfect. Put some, sell some tickets. Perfect for a team like that. Now, again, they could probably fool some team at the trade deadline. He pats his stats. He probably averages 21 in Atlanta. And then, maybe they get another first-round pick and a half for him, right? So it could work both ways. Jonathan Reyes says, Wokey says LA is expected to sign Max Christie and match anything. Yes, I read the report. I mean, that's what I expected. And most likely, they're probably going to try to do this before they make a trade. I can see a scenario where they try to re-sign their free agents, right? And then they try to make a trade. I can see that, right? It's gonna be cap hit. It's gonna be probably a first apron team if that happens. But one of them things, man. One of them things. Let's see. Hey guys, how about Rui or D'Lo and Gabe with a first and second for 2 bags and 1? Oh man, this guy's joking. But I do like Kessler. I don't know about John Collins, but I like Kessler for sure. Atlanta got our pick. They won't help us. Well, if they don't think that highly of Trey Young, just like a lot of you guys don't, maybe they will. Maybe they'll try to sabotage us in that way by giving us Trey Young. Who knows? But yeah, in all honesty, the odds of us landing a young star like Trey in his early prime years are slim to none. Usually the stars we land are like in their early 30s, fam. Let's be honest. We have a higher chance of getting Giannis once that contract expires with Milwaukee than of getting Trey Young via the trade here in free agency. That's just the honest truth. However, you just never know how these GMs might change their mind. I mean, if I was Atlanta and I could, grab some young pieces, some trade assets, and some draft picks, I'd do it, man. I don't care what nobody says. I do it. If you're Atlanta, for all you know, God forbid it, knock on wood, but LeBron could get hurt. And regardless of you trading Trey Young or not, you still get a high draft pick. I mean, there's other things that could happen. One thing's for sure, even if you don't trade Trey Young, we're probably going to have a great season. I don't think they're betting their whole year on that, right? At least they shouldn't, because we still have LeBron and AD. It's not like we're some rebuilding team, and if we get Trey Young, is going to elevate us by a lot. Right? If anything, Trey Young would be more of a trade for the playoffs. Somebody you can count on when LeBron's getting double teamed and AD's getting fouled and no calls are happening, right? That could happen. We got to keep an open mind. As a Laker fan base, we don't want to get too high or too low. Just kind of, keep it neutral. And if it happens, then we get crazy high, fam. It's Friday, by the way. So we get stupid high if that happens. My guy said, I like Trey Young, but I'm worried he will get targeted on defense like Austin Reeves in the playoffs. Well, the solution to that is, if we do, you know what, Benaya, if we do trade for a Trey Young, you absolutely, positively have to have a two-way guard next to him, right? Whether it's a free agent, which there's not a lot of those, and or is Max Christie. We already have one on the team in Max. I think you can groom him to be that guy. Let's see here. He said Bronny will play for 5 minutes game 1 of the season. That's okay. It doesn't matter if he plays 1 minute in garbage time. The point is that he's going to get experience, whether he's on or off the court. He gets to travel with the team, practice with the team, learn from the team. He gets to see the game plan. And eventually, if he's ever ready or injuries happen or we're blowing out a team by 25, or worst case scenario, we're getting blown out by 25, God forbid it, Bronny will see the court. But you know where he is going to see the court for sure? This summer league. So make sure you guys grab your popcorn, grab your snacks. It's about that time. TJ McConnell for PG. What? No. Crazy. No, TJ McConnell is a very good role player. PG is a borderline all-star in the West and certified all-star in the East. Right? Is Trey Young turnovers a concern for you? No. I think Trey Young turns the ball over a lot because the defense can really zero in and lock him up in Atlanta, where there's not a lot of other options. Well, now obviously DeJounte Murray and Trey Young didn't really fit well together. But Trey Young, to me, I think he'll be a lot more efficient playing alongside 2 stars, where he gets a lot more one-on-one play. People don't understand that adding Trey Young on the roster will open up more things for LeBron, right? You can't double team him because you can kick it out to Trey, and Trey will make you pay all day, baby. And the same thing with AD. AD, if you double him, AD, if he's going to be one of those key cogs like JJ mentioned, he's going to have to learn how to read and how to make the right passes out of the read, just like those elite big men around the NBA, right? So it's going to be great, y'all. Yo, what's up, Reese? What's up, brother? Putting in that overtime, man. Your boy is in triple OT right now. Summer League going to be lit. Get y'all popcorn and M&Ms. We're here for it. We are here for it. Question, when is Summer League start, Dan? It starts officially July 12th. But I posted this earlier. The California Classic, I think July 6th or 7th. It might be 8. Don't quote me on that. Double check. But yeah, the official Las Vegas Summer League is on the July 12th, right? Which I like because it lets us focus on free agency a little bit more. Usually Summer League's like July 3rd, all the way to like the 15th. But now we can focus a little more on free agency before we actually like the NBA is structuring things so much better. How'd you guys feel about the 2-day draft, by the way? I loved it. It was so much easier for me to cover both. I didn't have to dip out of either one of the rounds. And, usually I would just come back whenever the Lakers were about to make the pick because I was on the live stream for like 2-3 hours. Not this time. We were able to cover it the whole way through. So what you guys think? I like the new formats. I like the way the commissioner has added and implemented some things. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. My guy said, so D'Lo opted in. Yes, he did. He said, hopefully we can get Trey without getting rid of Trey. Wait, what? You meant getting rid of Austin? Is that what you meant? Yeah, Jackson Hayes opted in as well. We just talked about that a little bit earlier. And again, dominoes are starting to fall, man. Refresh your phones, check your timelines, watch out for these post noti bells because stuff is about to start breaking, man. I expect a trade of some sort tomorrow, even if it doesn't involve the Lakers. Pieces are starting to fall into place, but I do hope the Lakers do get involved. We need to clear up some roster spots. We need to obviously clear up some cap, bring back some assets, etc. I like TJ McConnell, but I think he just signed an extension, right? Or he's about to. Yeah, that white boy can play. He's about to get extended, and he's going to be solid for them for years to come. He's like a spark plug player. You just put him in there, and he gives you 110% effort. Gotta love that. Let's see. D'Lo, Vincent, and Maxwell Lewis works for Simmons and Robert Williams. Oh, they're not trading Anthony Simons. Simons is a very good player. Trust me. I have League Pass. I watch him. This kid, he's probably one of their best bucket getters. Shaden Sharp is up there as well. They're not trading Simons. Now, Robert Williams is intriguing. I like the size. I like his defensive abilities. He's been hurt throughout his career. He was hurt in Boston. He's been hurt in Portland. I'm not sure he has too much trade value. Just saying. But, yeah, we'll see. Again, there's going to be other options. Watch out for a player like Brook Lopez. I can see the Lakers trying to get involved in trading for him, and he could fit the Lakers for sure. He might be a little too old, though, so we got to kind of proceed with caution there. But I can definitely see the Lakers trying to move in on like a Brook Lopez type player or something like that. Richard, appreciate you, man. He said, Dan, like the show and your energy. Question. We have $5 million cap and a mid-level. Can you break that since we got to sign Bron and Max? Look, depends on how much LeBron signs for. So Windhorse was reporting earlier on ESPN that if LeBron James takes a $12 million pay cut a year, which in a 3-year deal would be like $36 million, that's a lot, right? Then there is a chance, there's a real chance that the Lakers could open up that what was it, the max mid-level exception. However, with D'Angelo Russell opting in, that all goes away for now until he gets traded, right? Because he's got a contract that's biting into the cap. So again, it's very complicated. This new CBA is not letting us operate very well. I think it's a higher chance of us making a trade to clear cap if we have a free agent in mind already than us just making a trade to make a trade for the sake of it, right? So again, we have different avenues here, but it's getting really interesting. And I think the Lakers are going to be active. I'm not sure if that's going to, bring anything forward as far as fruition goes, but I am excited about it. Look, oh my God! Wow! Thank you, Patrick. He said, Dan, I'm pissed about how cheap the Pelicans got DeJounte Murray. Yeah, they had no business. They had absolutely no business ending up with that asset without, giving up anything in return outside of our pick. But the Pelicans are very smart because they knew that the Lakers were probably going to end up with 50 wins or somewhere close to it, and the pick wasn't going to be worth much, right? I'm a firm believer that they probably wanted to keep the pick this year. But the problem is the Lakers ended up, with a semi-good record, close to 50. What did we have, like 47, 48? And so we ended up with the 17th pick in a weak draft, and so they passed on it. Now, Trevor Lane posed a really interesting question on Twitter where he said, do you guys believe if the Pelicans would have found out that Dalton Connect was going to be available with the 17th pick, that they would have still deferred the pick to us? And the resounding answer is no, because I think, they would have wanted an NBA-ready player now, right, to fit in with Zion and whoever they got over there. So we actually kind of made off like bandits, and we could really make off like bandits if we have a good season Now, people are saying there's no way Atlanta trades with the Lakers. Whether they trade with us or not, we're still going to end up probably with a top 6 record in the West, assuming we stay healthy. We got a new head coach. No more Darvin scam. We got some young pieces, some developing pieces that are probably going to elevate their game. Hopefully, Austin does as well. And so we have a good chance of being better than we were last year. If even so, for a couple of games, maybe like 3 or 5 games, anywhere between 3 to 5, it can make a huge difference. So again, Atlanta, not getting future first round picks, in fear of, messing up the draft stock that we're going to probably mess up anyways on our pick. It's kind of silly. I've seen a lot of people were saying that on Twitter, but it's kind of silly if you think about it. It's not like the Lakers don't have LeBron. Like, they're talking about us like we just have a bunch of rebuilding pieces and we're not going to be good, guaranteed. No, we have LeBron and AD. We got young players returning and role players returning. Guys opting in like Jackson Hayes, D'Angelo Russell. It's going to give us more trade assets or key pieces to the team, right? So, yeah, Hayes just opted in as well. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So he's the next domino to fall. Apparently, D'Lo wants to stay a Laker. Who doesn't? But hopefully, hopefully they figure something out there but I'll tell you what, it is a huge sigh of relief that this man opted in, because what would happen if you understand how we would have been so damn discombobulated if he would have opted out and became a free agent and left us for nothing, right? Like, what would have happened? We would have lost another trade, right? We already lost the Westbrook trade. We would have lost this trade because then we would have gave up all those assets just for Vando, who's been hurt. So in a way, we kind of save face here, especially if we can flip this guy before he walks next year in free agency for nothing. Almost a guarantee that D'Lo's walking. If the Lakers hold on to him past this trade deadline, or even in the start of training camp, it's almost a guarantee that this man is gonna walk, right? He's gonna walk once he gets the chance. So let's see. My guy said, Dan, are you excited to see Bronny play with LeBron? Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm more excited for wins. Now, if Bronny can contribute to those wins, I'll be even more excited. Believe it or not, I'm more excited for Dalton Connect because I've heard nothing but rave reviews around him, and all of that. So there is that, man. There is that. Dan, I have a question. What trade that can really move the needle for us, even if it's a minor trade or a big trade? I'm a firm believer. Now, I don't want to obviously get rid of all of our depth in order to bring in a third star, but if you can somehow bring in a third star for expendable pieces like D'Angelo Russell and Rui, you can get Trey Young, a 3-level scorer like that, who could take over some games. You do that, man. You don't think about it. I don't care what the casuals are saying. 25 points per game, 7 assists, man. How are you going to turn that down? No matter what his defense is. Anybody who's coming in giving you 25 a night, let's just say his numbers go down to like 22 because he's playing with LeBron and AD. That's still really good. On top of that, you get him involved in the pick and roll. You get him involved in so many different things here. And, it can be magical. It could really be magical, man, for the Lakers. I want it to happen. I really want it to happen. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be okay with it because I'm so used to disappointment. But at the same time, man, it's one of those things, man. Please, basketball guys, please do us a solid. Do us a nice favor and get that trade through. All right, another super chat. Let's go.
It's not unusual to go out at any time. But when I see you out and about, it's such a crime. If you should have thought for
That's still the GOAT of sitcoms right there. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man. It ain't nothing like it. Jerry King, appreciate you, bro. He said, think we trade D'Lo, Vando, and our 2 picks for PJ Tucker for his small center and toughness, and Cole Anthony or Dennis Smith for an elite guard. D'Lo, Vando, and our 2 picks for PJ Tucker? Nah, bro. We don't want PJ Tucker. He's a little washed. Didn't he just opt in with the Clippers? As far as Cole Anthony, I like Cole Anthony. I wouldn't mind him. Dennis Smith, I think he's a free agent, isn't he? Yeah, no PJ Tucker, though. I say no on the PJ Tucker. That's a hard pass for me. But the other 2 suggestions I like. Cole Anthony could definitely be a very good option. I like them on the Magic. And then Dennis Smith, again, he's developed into a nice defensive guard, which, which we like. We like nice defensive guards. Offensively, he's not the best, or he never fully panned out, but he's still pretty athletic. David says, Bronny going to prove a lot of people wrong. You heard it here first. I hope so, man. I'm rooting for the kid. Trust me. Now, I'm not going to go here and hype him up because, again, he still might not be NBA ready. But he does have a huge advantage. One, he has the most loyal fan base in the world. Anybody we draft, we always show love and support. We're not going to boo like Knicks fans did Kristaps Porzingis. Shout out to my Knicks fans. But we're not going to boo him. And we're going to embrace him. He's a Laker now. So anytime he's out there, I'm sure he's going to draw a crowd. I'm sure Summer League is about to sell out. I'm sure LeBron and Savannah are going to be there front row and center. So there's a lot to be excited about. But I'm more so excited, man, for this kid right here. Right? We're talking about a top 7 pick. At least that's what he's projected to go. Who slipped all the way to 17, 10 slots down, only because he's 23 years of age. Since when is age a crime? Well, since you're in the NBA, because in the NBA, they prefer young talent, right? They think young talent has a higher ceiling. That might be true, or it might not. As we can see with Jaime Jaquez, who came in right away and was probably the 3rd best rookie in this year's draft, right? We had Wemby, we had Brandon Miller, and I believe after that we had Jaime Jaquez. Did I skip over anybody? So I do feel like, you know, we might have got the next Jaquez, not in a sense of skill set, but in a sense of steal from draft positioning. And that could be great, man. That could be great. My guy said, Dan, I have a feeling the Lakers will get Evan Fournier. Option declined. He's decent. I think Buddy Hield is a free agent. He's been linked to the Lakers. Nothing would shock me if we land him. Another one has been linked to the Lakers, or at least the Lakers have registered interest in when he was in Toronto, is Patty Mills. So watch out for somebody like that. Or there's another one. There's another one. It might not be Patty Mills. There's another 3-point shooter who was on Toronto. I always confuse him. Do you think having JJ Redick will get us some extra wins this year? I think he's an upgrade to Darvin Ham, yes. But then again, I think anything is an upgrade to Darvin Ham. I think a damn ham sandwich, a clueless ham sandwich is just sitting there with no life, is just as usable as Darvin Ham, because Darvin, hands in his pockets, you know, was not able to adjust in-game situations, and his rotations were bad. They were bad. So that's how I feel about that, man. That's how I feel about that. Oh, you have a great night, Benaya. I'm almost going to get off as well. I'll take a couple more questions, though, man. We are hyped up right now. We are on, 36 hours away from NBA free agency? Guys, it is the absolute best, man. Absolute best. Hey, Dan. Just found your show yesterday. Welcome to the family, brother. Welcome to the family. Loving the Laker talk content. He said, I'd really love to get Jonas if we can, or possibly Brook Lopez. Also, would like to try to get Mitchell Robinson or Walker Kessler. Any of those guys sounds amazing. Now, I don't think Jonas signs for anything less than the full mid-level exception, right? I don't think he signs for anything like that's probably the least he will take, which is about 12 mil. I think that's what he's worth. Really, he's not the best defensive big man, but he's a great rebounder. He's solid at scoring, finishing with either hand. So he would be a great addition to our Lakers. Now, as far as Brook Lopez, that's a little tricky. Because Doc Rivers is running the show over there, and he's got a vendetta against JJ Redick, because JJ called him out on ESPN several times. So I don't think he'll allow them to make a trade with us, but I would love to have Brook Lopez for the right price. Mitchell Robinson, I think, is probably one of the more realistic ones as well. I think he can be had via trade, especially if the Knicks are looking for another point guard, which I doubt. They are stacked at the guard position and the wing position. But you never know. You never know how these GMs are thinking. So, yeah. This is the guy I was thinking about. It's not Patty Mills. I always get them both confused. Gary Trent, yes, Gary Trent Jr. He is the one that I think the Lakers will try to target in free agency, besides a big man. But I can see that. I can see that for sure happening, right? We're gonna dip out here at the top of the hour. I got to keep my energy. I got to keep my voice. This is the 4th video I did today. So again, if you guys have not already, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe button, and turn on the post noti bells, because I might be waking up at 3 a.m. to break news to you guys the way my phone be going off. You would think I'm Wojnarowski, man. That thing wakes me up every morning. But I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything, man. So again, stay tapped in and all of that good stuff, man. I got you guys. I'll keep my ear low to the ground. And again, remember, it's a lot of rumors coming out in free agency. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. Just remember that, okay? Because there's going to be conflicting reports, just like there was with the Dan Hurley situation. There's going to be all kinds of – right now we have a conflicting report. Some reporters are saying the Lakers might intend to keep D'Angelo Russell, versus Shams and Woj and other reporters that are a little bit more credible are saying the Lakers will look to move him. I believe those. I believe those guys, but we'll see, okay? Please have a good night. Appreciate you guys, man, for tapping in, showing love and support all night long. all day long, and I will see you guys real soon. All right, enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out, Laker family.